So we're here in your new space for Ellister's Elixirs. I want to find out kind of how you got started with the whole thing.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for being here. So it really sort of started as a passion project, and just through time and just getting my products out there, it's turned into my full-time work. It's great. So I studied biobehavioral health in college, and so that's what really got me interested in health and wellness. And what sort of sets it apart from traditional medicine is we studied how our behavior affects your health, rather than just sort of disease itself, but sort of how we can adjust our lifestyle in order to be healthier. So after that, I ended up doing a lot of traveling, backpacking all around Central and South America, learning a lot about their spirituality and different sort of tribal remedies and herbs and ceremonies. And I ended up then in India, and I spent about 6 months there studying yoga and meditation and learning about Ayurveda. And I was just so fascinated by all of it and felt so connected with it and felt like it was something that really needed to be shared with the rest of the world. And, you know, with yoga really growing here in the West, you know, why not bring the rest of what goes with yoga, Ayurveda, into the West as well.
So what exactly is
Ayurveda? So Ayurveda is basically our mind, body, spirit wellness. Okay. So instead of just disease being associated with a physical state, it's also our emotional and mental state and our spiritual state. And they're all connected. So sometimes our emotional well-being and our spiritual well-being is actually what's affecting our physical health. And so by adjusting our spirituality and our lifestyle and our emotional well-being, we can adjust our health. And so this is just a really cool concept that I find actually is extremely effective. And the more that I've learned about it, the more that I see how connected it is with everyone. And so in Ayurveda, there's different doshas that sort of categorize different people. And so depending on what dosha you are, different lifestyle choices are better for you. And so not everyone should be living, you know, the same template of health. Some people need more spicy foods. Some people need more oily foods. Some people need lighter foods, you know, and it just depends on your natural state of being. And so
what is a dosha? Like, how do you figure out which one you are?
So it basically ties in your natural physical state. So different things about your skin and your hair and your nails, and then also things about your digestion. Digestion is huge with Ayurveda. So sort of how regular you are, and different people sort of have different sort of tendencies with all of that. And then it also has to do with our emotions, you know, so there's one called Pitta, which is fire. And so that might be someone who might get really angry really quickly, you know, and then there's Kapha, which is earth. And so that person might, you know, be a little more chill and laid back and not, you know, get so fiery. And then there's Vata, which is air. And so that's maybe someone who is really quick moving, goes from thought to thought, idea to idea. So basically it categorizes your physical health also and how it's connected with your emotional and sort of your characteristics as a person as well. And both of these things affect our well-being. And so it's really cool sort of just you have to talk with someone rather than just say, okay, this is your height, your weight, your blood pressure, this, and this. It's okay, so what do you do in the morning when you wake up? Do you eat first thing? How do you sleep at night? How are your emotions? Because all of these things also impact our health. And so paying attention to those things and not just the numbers and, you know, just the prescriptions, pills, and all of those things, it's really sort of slowing you down and helping to figure out the root cause of whatever your ailment is instead of just covering the surface symptoms of it.
So how did you get from your travels to where you actually came back and started kind of producing your own products?
Yeah, so when I was in India, I actually had bought some different herbs and oils, and I brought it back with me. And I started just experimenting and making products for myself and for my family and my friends. And I eventually started an Etsy page, started selling things online, started doing different craft shows. and the reaction just was great. Yeah. People were really receptive to it because, they're frustrated with their health right now. And so they're looking for an alternative because the traditional path with Western medicine isn't working for them. Yeah. Using this new sort of actually old wisdom, right. Coming back to what people, were studying 3,000 years ago. And they were just more connected with the earth and their needs. And we're so disconnected from the earth now that we don't really understand our body flow because we don't quite understand the flow of life as much. We're not growing our own food. We're not in the elements as much. And so we're way more disconnected from nature, and it's reconnecting with nature and what's in nature and using those elements. And so like different things, whether it's with the sun or something, and you're outside, people say, oh, get out of the sun, whatever. If you're eating a well-balanced diet, you're actually protected from damage from the sun, and you can be in the sun, without burning because of what you're eating. Huh. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's amazing, and it's things that we're so trained, sort of do this, wear sunscreen, this and that, but wait, no, let's see, okay, what were we eating originally? What foods in their basic forms were we eating, and in what environment was that in? Are they foods in tropical environments? Or these foods are going to be better for our bodies in the sun. If you're in colder environments, you have more root vegetables, things like that. They're heavier, warmer. It affects your body differently. And so also getting back to, connecting with the earth and doing things locally in your area, eating the foods that are local to your area. You're grounding yourself and connecting with the earth and your natural health and flow of life. Yeah.
So you have your Etsy page, and that's doing really well. Where do you get the products, I guess, to make the different things you make? And what are some of the products?
Yeah. So I have different products that you ingest internally. I do different herbal tinctures, and I've also been doing a lot of CBD infused products, which is great. And hemp actually originated in India.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you could tell me a little bit more about that, because I saw a lot of that on your website.
Basically, they were using it for thousands of years for different salves, topically, for pain relief, different women's wellness. They're using it a ton. And using it for ingesting it internally for pain relief, also, taking it internally and externally. So that's what I do with my products then. So I have different products that you ingest, and then I also do different fusions for skin topical salves, whether it's for skincare or you're working from the outside in for pain relief. So all of my products are sourced from different places. I don't say, okay, I'm getting everything from here. I have products that come from India. I have ingredients that come from South America. I have all of the hemp that I use is grown in Colorado. Everything I try and source from its original roots, where it's grown the best, and where it's just in its best, most natural state. For example, like sandalwood in India, the government controls all of its growth. And so the original sandalwood trees are only grown in India. And so it's a very expensive oil then, and you can only get it there. But then there's people in Australia and Hawaii who have other types of sandalwood trees, but it's not the same. It's not grown in its exact environment where it really originated. So it has a different effect and a different intention, and it's not as connected to the roots of where it was grown and life itself.
For someone who's kind of just getting into this lifestyle or would come into your new shop that you're going to have here, where would they start?
So that's a great question. So actually one of my goals in the shop is to teach people. And so I want to be able to host workshops and teach people about their doshas, help people learn their natural body types and how to adjust their lifestyles in order to live healthier in full mind, body, and spirit wellness. So that's one of my goals, and I just want to be able to talk with people and have people be able to come in and ask me questions, because I've been so much in the virtual world of, people ask me questions on Instagram and Facebook and Etsy, and I now have my own website, and so I'm getting all these questions coming in because people want to learn about it, and so my goal is to offer education, information, teach people how to take better care of themselves so that they can be happier and healthier and not maybe have to rely on extra things in order to feel good. Yeah.
Now you do a lot of yoga as well, I think, right?
Yes.
So how does that kind of play into the whole lifestyle?
Yoga is not just the physical act of doing asanas, which is what a lot of people associate with it. Yoga is also how we live our lives. And so are we good people? Are we nonviolent? Do we practice compassion? Are we helpful for our neighbors? Do we keep ourselves clean? Do we keep ourselves healthy? Do we have good thoughts in our head, or do we have negative thoughts in our head? Are we expelling negative energy or positive energy that's going to lift other people up? So yoga is not just, the movement of our bodies, but also how we conduct ourselves just as people and how we connect with people. The symbol for my business is actually the endless knot, which is from the Tibetan mountains and the Himalayas and stuff. And so it is the union of compassion and wisdom. And that is one of my biggest goals in my business, is to use wisdom and share that wisdom, but use it compassionately and, just connect with people and not just be, actually have conversations with people, not like, you go into a doctor's office, 5 minutes here, what's your name again, But I want to know people. I want to know people in the community, and I want to connect with them, and I want this to be a safe space for them to come and be able to talk with me about their wellness and, connect with other people who are interested in the same things and, just be healthier and happier.
So how did you find the space?
So I found it just online on Craigslist. So I was in India earlier this year, actually, and I spent a month there, and I did a course on Ayurveda, and I also came back with a whole suitcase of different herbs and oils and ingredients to work with. And when I was there and I was in the training, there was a small group of us, and the teacher was teaching us how to make all of these different teas and how to do different Ayurvedic rejuvenation techniques, like different powder massages or oil massages. And I was like, I want to be able to use this and share this with people, and I need a space for that. I can't do that online.
Right.
I can't just pop up at shows, craft shows, and do that. I need a space for it, So it was in India that I really planted that seed of, okay, I want to have my own space. I want to take this, to my community and my people and actually connect. I planted that seed. I came home about 2 months ago, and every day I would just look online for spaces, both in Lancaster and Lidditz, and I really wanted to be close to, home and the people that I've been connecting with, as my business has grown. And so one day this popped up, and I was like, perfect, it's amazing, yes. Sent him an email right away and was like, when can I see it? So the next day I came in, and there was a bit of a process with it. There were some other people who had wanted this space as well. So I was just like, please work. Praying to the gods. But they called me and they said, we really like your vision and your idea, and we think it'd be good for the community. And so that's why we chose you. And so I felt so honored, and I think it's, just a great sort of accountability for myself. Okay, so I was chosen for this reason. I really need to fulfill this and get it out there and share what I've learned and continue to learn more. Because you always have to continue to be learning. Forever a student, and I always want to incorporate that into my business. And every year, go somewhere and do additional learning, and go different places, and be able to bring that back here to have.
Yeah. We had talked a little bit about, earlier off camera about how you were away for quite a while and then came back to Lancaster, and you kind of feel like this is the time. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yes. So after college, I went to Penn State, and it was I graduated in 2011. So after that, I was like, I want to backpack the world. I want to see things. So I went out there, and I would backpack, and then I'd come home, work for a little, save some money, go backpack again. And I would live in Philadelphia when I would come home, and had the city vibe. And Lancaster was always like the Amish, I don't want to go there. Like, so boring, nothing to do. But last year, actually, I ended up moving home, and I was like blown away by our city, and just so impressed, and just so like I was like, wait, I could maybe live here. I'm gonna like it, you know? Like, there's stuff to do downtown. I have that urban feel, but I can also drive 20 minutes and be hiking, you know, on the Appalachian Trail. Like, you have the best of both worlds. It's really amazing. And my family's here, and so many people that I grew up with and have also met in Philadelphia who never lived in Lancaster have come back to Lancaster. So it's really just becoming this hub for so many like-minded individuals who really want to make Lancaster cool. You know, make it a place to go to not just see the carriages and horses. We can keep the carriages and horses. I love that, and the farms and all that. But let's also have some art. Let's have some creativity. Let's have some edge. You know, it doesn't need to be so traditional.
Right.
You know, we need to grow with the times and with what the people want.